It is September 11th, 2020, and this is my latest update video on the reopening of Colombia. I'm going to go over information that I found out as far as international travel, as well as information on travel insurance. You're going to need travel insurance. I actually call a travel insurance company. So follow along. Okay, so again, this is my latest update on travel to Colombia. It is September 11th. It's actually September 10th. I'm doing this video a little bit earlier so I can have it ready in time for when you're seeing it right now. So anyway, I'm going to read a few stories. I'm going to jump through the first few pretty quickly, and then I'm going to get into travel insurance and why you need travel insurance and shopping for travel insurance. And I actually give travel insurance company that was recommended on one of the sites. So follow along. First up, dinero. Now again, I understand you guys can read. I'm just going to read along for those who are in the car with a few articles that I found as recent as possible too. So this one was as of 9/9, so a couple of days ago. Let's see, this one is entitled Aerocivil request itineraries for the reactivation of international flights. I want to see if I can put these stories together in such a way that you get the picture on how things are going to be when you do get there, if you do travel soon. So the Civil Aeronautics of Colombia reported that this Wednesday, it asked the airlines that regularly operate international flights to and from Colombia the itineraries for the reactivation of these services. The deadline for the airlines to provide the information will be September 12th, and they must inform the authority of the start dates of the flights, routes, schedules, and itineraries to start operations. Once the Civil Aeronautics receives the requested information, it will advance the procedure for the allocation of the sanitary slots in international airports for the aforementioned air operations, the entity stressed. So this is from dinero.com. Okay, another story from dinero.com, and I'm going in a specific order so you can see if you're getting this story that I'm telling. So this one was, let's see, 10/9, yesterday. One of 3 deaths from COVID-19 has been in Latin America. So according to a Reuters count, Latin America registers 1 in 3 deaths from COVID-19 in the world, mainly due to the cases registered in Brazil, Mexico, Peru, and Colombia. In recent days, the region reached out to the figure of more than 300,000 deaths from the coronavirus. In terms of infections, this area of the world reached a total of 8 million cases. So there you have it. Again, these are going to be quick stories in the beginning. I'm telling a story. I wanted to put certain things together because here's the thing. If you saw my video from a week and a half ago, I gave you one of the stories that Colombia reduced their testing by 25% the last week in August. And I don't think that is random. I think it's strategic, because if you stop testing, the number is going to go down. Hence the reason so many people want to do that here, or certain people want to do that here. I'll be diplomatic. But so they dropped it by 25% that last week, and the virus went down 7%. So that's math. Numbers don't lie. So the numbers looks like, to me, from the outside, looks like they're manipulating the numbers. Why would they cut out 25% of the testing? At the same time, they're getting pushed from certain entities like IATA, like the airline industry, like businesses, like the commerce. So they want to reopen, and it's all financial. It's the same thing that's going on inside this country, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So this one is airlines.iata.org. If you're not familiar with IATA, it's the International Air Transport Association. So these are the guys that need to keep the planes in the air. Kind of like, I guess, like a lobby group, so to speak, for the airline industry. So this one's entitled, Colombia Begins Recovery. Colombia Colombian President Ivan Duque Marquez has announced 15 area airports reopen in September, including Bogota. This is an important step for the necessary restart of aviation in the country. Some of this writing is kind of light color, but all air transport is an essential public service that people need for different reasons, such as work, health, family, and leisure purposes, said Peter Cerda, IATA's Regional Vice President for the Americas. Aviation's restart is good news, which will allow for the resumption of mobility and integration of the country. With this decision, the sectors and its extensive value chain, which include tourism and commercial in Colombia, can begin to rebuild. So the story that he's telling is, he also mentions further down that it's the same thing. Why are we allowing the buses to run, but not the airlines? So he's saying that, and there's a statement in here that he's saying that they have mitigated it to 0% of the people are going to get the virus from, or I forgot the verbiage, but they're not going to be a vector for transferring the virus. I don't know how you can do that 100%, but anyway, with the biosafe protocols approved by Colombian authorities and implemented by the industry, aviation will not become a vector, there it is, a vector for spreading the virus. It will not, according to them, will not be a vector for spreading the virus. That seems kind of definite. How can you make that statement? They can make that statement because just like people here can make that statement, and a certain few people are just going to run by this story and believe it, or hear him in whatever method they got this news. So let's see. Passengers have been traveling in the last 5 months on humanitarian flights, and the first test route between Bucaramanga and Cúcuta, which has transported more than 1,000 passengers. No known COVID-19 transmissions have been reported from these flights. No known. Air transport is an essential public service that people need for different reasons, such as work. Oh, I've already been over that. So anyway, I'm going to jump to the next story. This one is in Semana.com. And this one's entitled, when is this? A couple of days ago. So this one is entitled, "This will be the first international flight that will leave Colombia." It hasn't left yet. This one is scheduled to leave from Cartagena. And of course, they're going to fly the Big Yellow. The reactivation of international flights in Colombia will materialize with the first commercial flight between Cartagena and Miami on September 19th. Will this date change? What do you think? Please comment below. Also, let me take a second right now to ask you all, if you will, go down and hit the like button. Whether pause the button, pause the video, or just look beneath it and give me a likes up. Likes help the YouTube algorithm. They help more people get to see the video. It's a certain percentage of likes per video where YouTube will open you up to a larger audience. So please do me a favor, just take a second and go down and give me a little tip. Give me some encouragement to keep going with the information, please. I do need that. Comments are always welcome. I respond to all my comments. Those who comment know that. Okay, this one says the reactivation of international flights to Colombia will materialize with the first commercial flight between Cartagena and Miami on September 19th. After intense deliberations and dialogues between the aeronautical authorities of the two countries, the first flight was authorized to be operated by the low-cost company Spirit. This first flight represents a good sign for thousands of travelers pending the reactivation of international air traffic and the airline market itself. Taking into account that international flights are usually what generate the most profitability for companies. Cartagena Airport will be the first terminal with this type of flight due to the resistance of the mayor of Bogota, Claudia Lopez, to facilitate this type of journey to and from El Dorado. So she's a little more, hey, let's hang on. I see the numbers. I see what the hospitalization rates are and how much more can we handle. So it goes on to say, however, it is expected that in the coming weeks, the capital airport will start some type of flights on routes and frequencies to be defined. So I know, like for me, I know my flight's going to have to transfer. And more than likely, when I do transfer, I transfer in Bogota. So how are they going to handle all of that? Other airlines such as Avianca and Viva Air have asked local authorities and governments to reactivate international routes. It is expected that between September and October, these flights will be authorized. However, the inactivity in El Dorado and Bogota, which lasts for more than 5 months, generates great uncertainty in operations because Bogota is the most important hub in the country, and one of the most important in Latin America. Avianca recalled that the international operation in neighboring countries such as Ecuador has been activated successfully and with a minimal risk of contagion. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's an opinion. Keep in mind, LATAM and LATAM Airlines and Avianca have both filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which means they're reorganizing, which means they don't have to pay certain people and they can delay some debts until later. And if this open goes well and the virus happens to get worse and they lock it down, chances are they're going to go away. So I don't know if you want to support them for that, but there you go. Next story, traveling lifestyle. Where's the date? September 7th. Okay. Colombia is Latin America's 5th largest country. Its rich multicultural heritage dates back to 12,000 BC, and so on and so on. Just a basic history. Then there's an update as of the 7th. The situation in Colombia is slowly becoming better, and the positive cases are declining. At the moment, Colombia has 666,521 COVID cases and 21,412 deaths caused by COVID as of September 7th. Now, let's look at the numbers. It goes up, starting in March, March, a few, then April, and then it just really picks up. Until, let's see, what's straight down from here? August 20th. Just happens to meet up with their lowering of testing by 25%. So get that, 25% test, but the virus only dropped by 7%. And look, it's gone down in the past, week and a half, 2 weeks. Again, I don't know about you. This is just me. I'm always trying to think why are things happening behind the scenes. And in my opinion, they are manipulating the numbers to reopen. They're reopening everything. They're reopening the malls. They're reopening gyms. I mean, restaurants, indoor restaurants. It's not, I'm all in favor of businesses making their money. Heck, I'm in business. But at the option of getting people ill, it's just, I don't know. I just think it could be worked out better. Now, this is just me. These are my opinions, of course. But the government is slowly reopening on local levels and life is returning back to normal. For example, restaurants can be open up to 25% capacity, and if they have outdoor seating, even more. The international flights are supposed to start resuming at the end of September, and borders should be open in October. And that was from the Colombian government. So Venezuela, let's see, let me jump to the next one. This one is Semana. And again, hang on a second too. Don't run away from this one because I'm actually going to call a company that does travel insurance with a health part to it. Insurance is insurance, though. You know how that goes. I have my beliefs on that too. So a traveler, this is 99 also, a traveler on the Bogota-Cartagena flight died of coronavirus. So this is why I put these stories in this order, because it just told you there was no infections. We've been flying for so long. And this one states the District Administrative Department of Health confirmed that the man presented symptoms the same day he arrived in the capital of Bolivar. Johanna Bueno, director of District Administration Department of Health, provided details of the death of a 41-year-old man who tested positive for coronavirus after making a business trip to the walled city. As the official explained, the traveler arrived at the Rafael Núñez de Cartagena International Airport on September 2nd, coming from Bogota. And although upon entering the city, he did not present symptoms, at night he began to present occasional cough, and they related it to consequences of climate change. Bueno added that the man had no contact with patients infected with the virus, according to the investigation of the epidemiologist carried out by DATIS. His wife tested negative for COVID-19 as this Wednesday, and their 3-year-old daughter will be tested. Okay. So there you go. So with that said, I want to jump to the New York Times now, because this will give you an idea for those who want to hop on a plane and fly away right quick and learn firsthand how it is in Colombia. This is what has happened in the United States. From someone who has had this experience, and if you are still in the U.S., you know, and you may be in one of these states. So this just goes over the reopening and the closing again, or the pausing or reversing of certain policies for different states. So you know how this story is going to go. But out of all 50, this is just showing everything that's open. But here, the changes and backtracking reflect the immense pressure on the nation's governors to respond to a crippled economy and an anxious public. And it's the same for Colombia. It's stressful. People need to work. People need food. I mean, I get that. Trust me, I get that. But at the expense of the health of even more, the reopening this quick, I mean, if they've learned nothing else, they should. I mean, this president ought to know he's done good by keeping it locked up. Now that he's going to reopen it, his popularity is going to go back down because the rates are going to go back up. Unfortunately, people from the U.S. are probably going to bring some with it. I mean, going to Guatemala, 15% of the cases in the country were sent there by the U.S. So how is it going to be in Colombia? And then once you get there too, and you know how people get lax, and people here say, oh, I ain't wearing no mask. I ain't wearing no mask. I don't have to wear a mask. It's America. It's my right. I don't have to wear a mask. Well, take that to somebody else's country, and you're not going to wear a mask. And you're going to be sitting outside, and there are pictures and video of Colombia, of Medellin, Colombia, right now that I have seen. The people are sitting and chilling and taking pictures and nothing on their face at all. So not everybody is going to adhere to the policy. So with that said, what's going to happen? I'm a logical person, so you tell me. The changes in backtracking reflect the immense pressure on the nation's governors to respond to a crippled economy and anxious public, even as epidemiologists warn of a second wave of cases. Many governors are mandating the wearing of masks in public places. The New York Times is tracking when broad reopenings are allowed. So let's just jump straight through. Let's start. It's alphabetized. So Arizona, let's see, the reopening was May 15th. So it's going up. They said mask up so it doesn't go up. So they released it, 2 weeks later, start to go up. Now it's starting to come back down again. Okay, Governor Doug Ducey stay-at-home order expired May 15th. Arizona saw cases soar. In late June, he reversed it. Okay, here's the things that are open there: retail, food and drink, restaurant dining. Let's see, food and drink and bars are not. Entertainment, movie theaters, outdoor recreation gyms, large things are not open yet. California, we know how California was the first one to say, was it San Francisco, the mayor of San Francisco, shut it down because they saw what was happening? Well, they reopened officially on May 25th. Now look at it. And I've seen video. On Venice Beach, people walking around. Nobody's got a mask on. So it's no wonder it's going to happen. So there it is, up and down a little bit and then back up. You can tell when they tried to impose something and then back down again. Okay, Colorado. Here's where they imposed it. They reopened April 26th, and these are all entitled, these are under the reversing. So they had to reverse it. Florida, we know how Florida went along. Okay, there's nothing going on in Florida. Everybody's fine. All the elderly are fine. All the nursing homes are fine. Let's reopen. And he went full-fledged. This is, what's his name? DeSantis, is this? Yeah, Ron DeSantis, a Republican in the story. I'm not even going to read anymore, because this is the biggest butt kiss in the country of this current person with the head of the title of president. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave all my opinions. Well, some of them going to sneak in anyway. But anyway, they reopened on May 4th. Now look, 2 weeks later, boom, boom. It's coming back down. He had to reverse. Hawaii, here, went up, reversing. Illinois started coming down. They reopened, started to go back up, reverse. Iowa, up, reversed. Open, Louisiana. Look at Louisiana. Brought it back down when they had the mask policy. Stay at home, let it go, start to rise again. And Louisiana got really bad. Michigan went down, reversing. Nevada, look at Nevada. Talking Vegas, closed. Opened a couple weeks later, boom, back up again. Reversing it. Puerto Rico, reversing it. Texas, reversing it. I live in Texas. We were doing well. We were doing well. Let me tell you, back in April 30th, June 1st, when he opened, everything's back open. Not everything. Well, we're going to do one thing, 1 week here. The second week, we're going to do this. The third week, we're going to do that. Sound familiar? Colombia. First week this, second week that, third week that. And that's when you come. So, reversing, pausing. This is what's going to happen. It's just logical. So, now, let's just jump over because here's my best source for Medellin Colombia again. I don't work for Medellin Guru, but let me tell you, his website is the bomb. Look, so this one is entitled Travel Insurance Meets the Health Insurance Requirements for Colombia's Visas. So, you're not going to go to Colombia unless you have a visa. Okay, so keep that in mind. This was just a couple of days ago. Colombia now requires health insurance when applying for visas, and we looked at inexpensive travel insurance meeting this health insurance requirement. Colombia requires health insurance when applying for Colombian visas with minimum coverage of, or a visitor's visa, which is you're going to get a visa stamp when you get there. You're going to have to show that you have $35,000 worth of medical insurance or travel insurance. And if for a migrant visa, $60,000, for a resident visa, $100,000. So you're going to need it before you go. And I found in a couple other sources, chances are there's going to be a 14-day quarantine too. So how long are you going for? Even if it's not, let's say it's a week. Well, let's just say it's 2 weeks because that's the average. And that's normally without some sort of PCR test. So let's say they just let you in, they need the money, come on in, spend that money. And I actually saw hotels are going to reopen, and it mentioned in that article, hotels are going to reopen, including the ones that rent by the hour. Okay? You figure that one out. It's not too difficult. It's not too difficult. So, travel insurance features. Let's see, the insurance provider by our insurance broker partner is from Assist Card. So I got this information. So I said, let me give Assist a call, which is a multinational company dedicated to the provision of international assistance services with worldwide health networks and healthcare providers. Assist Card has been Sura, if you're familiar with insurance in Medellin or you research it, Sura is one of the major brands, provider for over 50 years, offering the international coverage with Sura's private propaganda insurance plan. Sounds like propaganda. The travel insurance provided by Assist Card is confirmed to meet the requirements of the international health insurance for Colombian visas. So this is a good place to start. By all means, shop around. Hopefully you're good with forms and you're good with details, because my belief of insurance companies are they're not trying to pay. They're going to do what they can not to have to pay. If you have good experiences, let me know. If you have bad experiences with insurance companies trying not to pay, let me know also. And do me a favor, go down and hit like. Will you just pause right now? Do me a favor, go down and hit the like button. I need the likes in this video, please. Like if you can. If you like, by all means. If you don't, I feel you. You can cut out. This is an example of what you're going to get medical assistance and so on and so on. So with that said, before I jump to their website, well, here's their website. It's pretty easy in the beginning, but hang on 1 second, and I am going to make a phone call, and let's see what they say right here.
Car Travel Insurance and Assistance. This is Paula. May I have your first and last name, please?
Robert Christian.
Thank you. And how do you spell your last name, please?
Christian.
Okay, thank you. And what's a good callback number for you in case the call drops, please, Mr. Christian?
I'd rather not give my number out. That's okay.
What can I help you with?
I'm just looking, I was reading an article and your name came up as a recommendation for insurance, for travels insurance. I am thinking of going to Medellin, Colombia in October when flights resume. I believe they're supposed to start in another week or two. And I just wanted to make sure or find out if certain things are covered. So I'm online right now and I'm on your site. I've gone through it and I got the basic understanding of the coverage. But when it comes to emergency medical, does that include possibly catching the virus? Then medical care is taken care of or reimbursed?
Well, what state do you live in?
Texas.
Texas. Okay. Just a moment, please.
Mm-hmm. So the state I'm from has a bearing on it?
The state that you're from determines whether or not I can review any kind of coverages with you. You have to be licensed in that state to review coverage, which I am in Texas. I'm just getting the information pulled up. Okay. Now, as far as COVID coverage, coverages are not really something that we can say, well, yes, this would definitely be covered, this would not be covered, because it's all circumstantial. It's all determined. It's all based on, you know, what circumstances led up to an event. For example, if I were to go on a trip and go skydiving and break my arm, normally breaking my arm would be covered under the medical, but because I was doing a risky activity that's outlined in the limitations, it wouldn't be covered. Now, we do have, since you're online, I'm trying to find the URL here for you right now. We have a page on our website, rather, that provides all of our FAQs in regard to the coronavirus. And if you go to STARR, STARR, companies.com /
Did you say STARR?
Yes, sir. STAR with 2 R's.
Company.com?
Companies.com / coronavirus advisory FAQ.
Okay, so is this going to, I understand, doing something risky and breaking your arm in that example, but if I'm doing nothing but, living my life and staying in my hotel or Airbnb for a month and eating out possibly a couple times, what's risky?
It's based on underwriting. So if any of our insureds are traveling and they contract the coronavirus, they may be covered under trip cancellation if there's a confirmed diagnosis before they travel. If they're on their travel and they contract it, they may be covered. It just depends. And underwriting is the only one that can really determine, if this is or is not covered. It's possible it will be covered. They would have to look into the circumstances surrounding it. And we can't adjudicate on a theoretical claim. We just have to, we would just have to say, well, go ahead. If you feel like you've experienced loss, if you get sick or what have you, file the claim. Underwriting will review it, and they'll make a determination based off of that.
Okay, so what happens? It mentioned medical care. So does that mean anything outside of that I'm taken care of? If I get sick or ill, my hospital stay is taken care of?
As long as it's within the terms and limitations of the policy and up to the policy limits, yes.
Okay. And this may be a crazy question, but let's say, I had something planned, an event planned during my trip, and I ended up being quarantined. Say the country locks the country back down. Colombia, they say, okay, we're going back into isolation. Everybody needs to go back in. Am I covered for anything that I had planned?
If it was part of the premium, like whenever you set up a travel policy with us, a single travel policy, we ask how much does your trip cost. as long as it's within that covered amount, and you can provide, documentation that this didn't happen because of, this and that, then you can file a claim for it.
Okay, so and I've already done that. I think I did $3,000 or $4,000, something like that, for a month. So as long as it's within that amount and something gets canceled, then I'm covered. Or is this all theoretical and possibly covered?
It's unfortunate. Well, I mean, it is all theoretical because I can't make a determination on coverage on a theoretical claim.
Well, it's all theoretical, really, right? I mean, this is insurance. It's just in case. So we don't really know what's going to happen. So before I sign up, you can't tell me that, I mean, other than that anything else is covered. Am I understanding that?
Because there are a number of factors that come into play, I can't say, like, if this happens, you'll definitely be covered. I can say you would need to file a claim, and like I said, as long as it's within the policy terms and conditions, it shouldn't be an issue. But it's not something that I can say, yes, this is definitely covered.
Okay, so you heard it there. You heard from their mouth. And I just asked a few basic questions. You're going to have to make the phone call for yourself, but you're going to have it before you go. Might as well try this, especially since it's recommended by Medellin Guru, whether they get some sort of fee or not. If Medellin Guru says it and the president or owner, I think his name is Jeff, I will be more inclined to choose them as well. So take a look at them, but also do your other research on your own. So let's go directly to their website, assistcard-usa.com. I'm going to fill in a little bit of information right here. So when am I going? I'm going to say I'm going on I'm going to go on the 3rd of October. I'm going to return. I'm going to stay for a month, so I'm going to spend 2 weeks in my hotel. And I had this question by one of my viewers also. What happens if they see you having a guest come to your hotel room or your Airbnb? Will they log that? Are they going to be responsible for doing that? So I replied, I don't know, first of all, but you really do want to have a guard or someone at your location. And that's for your safety, so that somebody doesn't give you something and you end up bringing somebody up there that you wouldn't have normally, or you had too much to drink and you brought somebody up there with you. You want that logged if and when you do invite somebody with you to visit you, whoever, family, friend. But my guess is that the hotels are going to be required to monitor that. Now, the Airbnbs that I stayed at, one didn't, but one did have a guards, and they rotate off. And you get to know who they are, they know who you are, and when you do have a guest, they're going to ask for their passport. When I was there last year and my ex-girlfriend came and visited me, I told him, oh yeah, I put on a note, which I told the place that I rented from, that she may come and visit me anyway. But then a month or two later, when she did finally come, they like, oh, hey, you snuck her in. And I'm just paraphrasing because he's speaking in Spanish. Oh, I don't have her information. I need her information. So if they did that then, my guess is they're going to do it now. So just be aware. I mean, I suggest that you have a guard, but if you're looking to sneak somebody up in and not looking to be monitored, I mean, who's to say? I don't think they're going to have things together well enough, like some countries where they're going to have a specific place to put you for 2 weeks. And that's even if it is going to be the 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. Deposit date. Let's say I'm going to do it on the 3rd. Destination country. I'm going to Colombia. Looks like I'm making plans, don't it? My age. And here's the thing, and you heard her say she wants to know how much your trip is, because a lot of it has to do with the percentages of the amount of your trip. So I put 3,000 because I'm on a budget. Actually, 3,000, including airfare and luggage, is way more than enough for a month, especially since you're going to be locked down for 2 weeks, well, possibly. So let's see the plans. Let's see if they make me jump through any hoops. This is relatively straightforward. It's going to give me two options, two choices, Classic Plus and Premier. You know, there's like, they never name it like starter package or small, medium, large. You know, you can't even go through McDonald's anymore. And they say, you want medium or large? No, I want a small. We don't have that. I mean, it's just funny to me how the verbiage is for these places. So this one for $151, if you look below, they almost have almost the same features. 100% of trip costs, 150 towards trip costs for trip interruption. Let's see, trip cancellation for any reason, 75%. And this is just saying any reason at all. And if you heard what she said, you know, she can't answer anything specific right now. Not until you file a claim are they going to say, yeah, reject it. Nope, this is because you got coronavirus outside of town. Now, you didn't see coronavirus anywhere in the details, did you? And my guess is it's going to be way more pages than what I'm looking at right now. I'm just saying. Airline ticket change fee up to $200. Most airlines are waiving that, like United is waived it. Southwest doesn't have it. Misconnection up to $7,500. I'm sorry, $750. A few more of the details. Let's see, AAA baggage delay, and they give you $100 per day, maximum $300. I mean, these are actually decent. I would use this on a normal trip. I would use this, but accidental death, oh, we don't want to die while we're there, but you get $10,000 or $50,000. Emergency accident and emergency sickness and medical expenses. Now, here's where it gets sketchy. Now, emergency medical evacuation and medically necessary repatriation. So they'll get you home up to $500,000. That part is understanding. But this right here is up in the air. Let's click on a little question mark. Provides reimbursement for necessary medical and dental expenses due to an accidental injury or emergency sickness while on your covered trip. Now, can you think of anything that's more of an emergency sickness than getting the virus while you're there? But I'm going to guess it's not there. Okay. Especially by the way she was talking. So $50,000 versus the other plan, and here's a big difference really on this one. It's $250,000 if you get that higher plan. And for this trip, you know what? For something like this, $151 versus $210, I'd pay the $210 just because peace of mind. I have something extra anyway. Renter's collision. Don't rent a car. Don't do it. I'm just saying. You want to drive in Colombia? Why don't you drive in Manila? Why don't you drive in Vietnam? It's the same thing. Why? Why would you do that? I'm going to suggest that you don't drive, and you'll see what I mean when you get there if you have not been there before. But, okay, so from there, I'm going to jump to this one because I found this one Insubai, INSUBAY.com, because I actually did a search for COVID-19 travel insurance. And after a few, I got to this site right here. Same things you fill out. I've already filled this information out. And it gives me like, I don't know, 5 different plans. You'll see in a second. Okay, comprehensive, $81. And you can change these, by the way. You can change this deductible. I only want to pay $50. If you say 50, it went from 81 to 97. So as you see, it changes per deductible. So, but I mean, it's kind of, the interface is kind of user friendly, but, and it says COVID-19 included, COVID-19 included. I mean, you heard what they told me at the other company, but this one is saying that it's included. Now, you need to look at the details, of course. Evacuation, they give you $100,000. Man, how much did you take with you? It's going to cost $100,000 to be brought back, or $1 million to be brought back. Atlas Essential, this one's by Lloyd's of London. Lloyd's of London, I just ran across another story that Lloyd's of London has lost $90 billion or $9 billion. A lot of money paying out insurance policies. So at least they paid something. So this is just something to look at. Most of these, I think you're under 75 or this was under 70, something like that. But anyway, I wanted to get this information to you. Do me a favor and like, if you will. And just as I wrap things up, you're not the only ones that are getting it. And there's so many people that you don't know or that you have not heard that have had the virus. So I pull up the celebrities or people that you would know. So what is this? Cohen, Andy Cohen, Idris Elba, ring a bell. if anybody watched The Wire. Let's see, and of course Tom Hanks. And I just heard a couple of days ago, Usain Bolt has the virus, and this just goes over a few things. Robert Pattinson, whoever he is, The Rock. And this is not saying that they're all deathly ill, because people like The Rock and Usain Bolt, I'm going to guess, are going to push through whatever it is, unless they have a pre-existing condition. But even still, it's who do they give it to, and how does it spread? That's how it just spreads to the people who don't need to get it, is by the people who don't know they have it. So there's The Rock, Antonio Banderas, Alyssa Milano. We know Chris Cuomo and his wife, Prince Charles, Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, of course, Idris Elba a little bit more. But just without scrolling through all of them, you get the point. Everybody's getting it, and it's in the White House. It's in the Secret Service. It's everywhere. Some people it's going to affect adversely. Some people are just going to truck on through. Some people are going to struggle with it. Some people are not going to do well at all. So where are you on the side of that? Give me your feedback. Let me know. Please leave a comment before. Leave a comment right after you hit like, please. Just act like I'm your server. Just tip me, please. That's the tip. Not asking for money. Just tip by a like button. But again, if I'm offering any information of benefit, please subscribe. Click the bell to be alerted of any new videos. Thank you guys for watching. More information coming soon.
We have a YouTube channel, like it. Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe, kick the bell.